Welcome to the first inaugural episode of Victory Lap Radio, where three guys sitting around talking about college football, college, and all the fun stuff in between. I got to my right Michael Whitfield here, Twitter at Michael Whitfield. How's it going today, Mike?
Going well, can't complain. Excited about the new podcast.
God, what a fucking asshole. To my left, we got Andrew Alina, Twitter handle at GivesAFAK. That's GIVESAFAK. How's it going today, Andrew?
Hey, I got a cold stone in my hand. What more can I ask for? You know what I'm saying?
There's really not too much else. And that's where I like to get into the first sponsors of our event. Victory Lap Radio is brought to you by Rocks. Rocks Bar and Grill at the corner of Lincoln Way in Maine and Mishawaka. Use promo code VICTORY for 15% off. Alcohol and food included. If it doesn't work, go talk to Rock. And then we're also brought to you by Keystone. Keystone, supporting teenagers since 1914.
Cheap beer, but great beer.
Yeah, Keystone, always smooth. Let's get into our first topics. Obviously, what everybody's talking about today and this week, college football playoff. First four, obviously, it's Clemson, Oklahoma, Georgia, Alabama. Boys, you think the committee got it right? Andrew?
You know what? I think the committee did get it right, and praise the fucking Lord they didn't put those fuck eyes in there. I think they had no. It was a no-brainer to put Alabama in over Ohio State. When you have that 31 point loss to Iowa, it's too big of an anchor to overcome, and I think the committee definitely got that right.
I agree with you. I think that 31-point loss is something you can't really overcome, like you said. And Ohio State, I will say, had maybe better wins than Alabama, but they also had another loss than Alabama. And Alabama didn't lose on the road by 31 to a 7-5 Iowa team.
Yeah.
Now, if Iowa would have been a 9-3, 10-2 team like they were a few years ago, maybe. But this year they weren't that good. And I do think Alabama is definitely a better team than Ohio State. And I think Clemson was the number one team this year throughout the whole season, so I think the committee did get it right this year.
Yeah, I agree. I think they got the four right. I think what's just really pissing everybody off is the reasoning is not consistent. So you have Ohio State with two losses, but like you mentioned, probably better wins than Alabama. Alabama's strength and schedule. I personally would have ranked it, just like the committee had it. I think 5 and 6. I'm shocked USC still slid in there that high at number 6 with the bad loss they had to Notre Dame. But in terms of the actual four teams in the playoff, I think they got it right. And let's be honest, Alabama got in because of the brand that they are.
Rightfully so, but they definitely. I mean, if this was Washington at the 4 or 5 spot. Washington's not getting over Ohio State,
Yeah, no.
Same resumes apply. Yeah,
same resumes apply. Washington's not getting in. Same resumes apply with even a UCF. They're not getting in.
And that's what's really annoying. I think strength of schedule makes what a really good team is.
But you got to remember, on the list of things that the committee will consider, the last thing on that bullet point is other relevant factors, which includes the eye test, and I think that may be the
this
heaviest.
Whole year was the eye test.
That may be the heaviest factor in their decision-making process, and if that's the case, then Alabama's the eye test are the better football team.
Old BCS style points.
And there's
how you win the game.
The other day, someone brought up a good point. The eye test, they could be thinking the eye test as Alabama's going to be healthier,
right? And that's the thing I loved is they've been considering injuries all year.
If they are. Clemson, Kelly Bryant.
Yes, they're taking in extenuating circumstances.
And if they're considering Alabama healthy, are they better than Ohio State? I think Alabama is better than Ohio State right now. If they're better, are they better than Ohio State healthier? 100% yes. So I do like what the committee did here. They didn't just this is an easy decision. We put Ohio State in. They have better wins, all this stuff, conference champion, but. Bama's just a better team, so I think the committee got it right here.
Yeah.
The only thing I changed there is I think Georgia is the second best team in the country. I have them at 2, Oklahoma at 3.
I do think Georgia. They did get beat by a decent amount, but I do think they fell too far when they did lose to Auburn. Because if you look at Oklahoma-Auburn, now is Oklahoma-Auburn two of the better teams in the country? Definitely. Are they probably neck and neck?
Yeah.
Yes. But, their 1 losses Oklahoma's to a Iowa State team. Georgia's is to an Auburn team who, Auburn lost 3 games this year. They also beat Bama. They also beat Georgia.
That's the thing.
And their
Auburn's,
their losses, Clemson, Georgia.
And that's the other
Auburn's-
thing pissing people off is Auburn, who
Auburn's-
beat Alabama. Bama got in by essentially staying at home.
Yes, and it almost helped them because they get to get
that's
healthy.
like, is that right?
Right.
Yeah, and
Auburn-
that's what's really frustrating people.
Auburn's resume: beat 2 college football playoff teams and lost to 2 college football playoff teams.
Which, we may never see this ever again. That's scheduled.
That's a crazy
They
resume.
lost on the road at Clemson by 8. Okay, they lost. They beat
Second week of the season.
Second week of the
so-
season. Their best running back didn't play.
Yeah.
No carries, did not play. Then you have they beat manhandled Georgia and Bama. Okay, both are in the playoffs. Then they lose to Georgia. Second time they played them.
And they just handled Mercer in that week in between.
Well,
Bama,
yeah,
yeah.
and that's bullshit that they always do that.
But that's what I'm saying.
Mercer.
At Auburn, we may never see a schedule like that. We may never see a setup like that where.
Well,
their
yeah,
schedule's just
and that's why I
unbelievable.
think there's almost an argument to be made that the conference championships are irrelevant now.
Well, it's 2 years in a row non-conference champion
Exactly.
gets in, so yeah.
But moving on from that, we had our top 4. How do you think the matchups are going to play out? Obviously, the first one you got 1 versus 4 rematch from the past 2 years national championship, Clemson versus Alabama. Mike, why don't you start us off there?
I think it's going to be a very good game, as Clemson and Alabama the past few years have been. I think, is Alabama actually getting healthy? Are these players going to be even 90%? Or, is it going to be one of those things where they're at 80, 85, they don't know how well they're going to play, they haven't played in a game in a while, so how are they going to react? And they are playing a Clemson team who's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one of those things is just, how healthy is Alabama actually going to be? Another thing I think that helps Alabama is they have the greatest coach when it comes to preparing for a team with a lot of time.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
So I think, I think Alabama getting this much time to prepare for Clemson, they might be able to stop Clemson's offense a little bit better.
Plus, Nick Saban, he didn't win the national championship last year, so he
he's
didn't come.
a damn near
he didn't get his orgasm,
his
so he's got to get it
one
in.
a year orgasm.
His 1 a year.
Very true.
Miss
so
Terry's a little disappointed.
He's definitely on the hot seat. If he loses 2 years in a row in the playoffs,
If Nick Saban
burning his
loses
house.
2 national championships in a row, does his balls explode?
yes.
Yes.
100%.
100%. Spontaneous combustion.
He might randomly want to coach the NFL again if he doesn't win.
Ooh, New York Giants, open seat.
Yeah, exactly.
Andrew, how about your prediction for the 1 versus 4 matchup?
The 1 versus 4 matchup, I think, is what some attorneys would call a slam dunk in Alabama's favor.
Some attorneys would call it that. Some litigation process for Alabama. I'm actually going to come in here. I think Clemson's going to win by 2 touchdowns. I don't think this is the same Alabama team that we've seen the past few years. You can't overstate the fact of Nick Saban. I think Alabama's going to run into a little scenario Ohio State had last year of, Urban Meyer falling flat in the game. I just don't think they got it this year like they do. And, Bryant at quarterback for Clemson is going to give them fits.
Deshaun Watson.
He's Deshaun Watson-esque. He's unbelievable running between the tackles and throwing on the run. Traditionally, spread quarterbacks like that give Alabama fits. And also, are they going to be healthy?
I think you're off your rocker there, buddy. I'm just gonna say it.
Me and the champ definitely are going to go with Bama in this one.
North Carolina State contained Kelly Bryant. I think Alabama will be able to handle him, too.
I just think a revenge game for Saban. His dick is so hard.
Oh,
right now.
he's so rocked up
He's
right
ready
now,
to
ready
pump
to go.
the shit out of
When
Clemson right now.
Wisconsin lost, he was in there already watching 19 hours of film in
he's
4
ready to go.
hours.
He got his bottle of Jergens on the left.
Except
the tissues on the right.
Nick Saban's pissed off. He doesn't get to recruit now. This is 4 weeks of recruiting.
Oh,
he
he's
doesn't get to do. He's got to get the pay. He's got to get the checkbook ready to go.
Nick Saban was probably the happiest person ever when they announced they were playing Clemson.
He's
so
ecstatic.
I just don't think you go bet against
Rat
Saban.
poison.
You don't bet against Saban.
They didn't show the bottom half of his pants for a reason.
And then, on the other side of the semifinals, we got the 2-3 matchup. My boy Baker, absolute legend in his own mind and on TMZ, taking on Georgia. Georgia, very physical team, running the ball. Nick Chubb, also been in college for about 9 years now to go along with Baker Mayfield. I'm going Georgia in this one, boys.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on this one. I think Georgia just is going to be the more physical team. I think if they can get the running game going, control the clock, keep Baker off the field, I think that's a huge thing. I don't know how much of a rhythm he'll be able to get in.
Mm-hmm.
I just think.
Also, will he get frustrated and lose the school?
Yes.
Baker Mayfield, not always been one to keep that in check.
Right.
Well,
And-
right off the bat, have Georgia not shake his fucking
Don't shake
hand.
his hand.
He'll get pissed
Hey,
off.
Shout out
Right.
Joe Deneen.
I didn't play too well for the Jayhawks, but I think
Yeah.
Georgia Jayhawks, a little bit of a different team,
Hey,
but you
both-
never know.
they're both Division I football programs. Now,
Early.
I think the key, Whitfield just hammered that point home. If Georgia can control the clock, keep Baker off the field, and stall him out on a few consecutive drives that span out to like 30 minutes of real time, that could rattle his cage, and who knows what he's going to be doing.
And Baker's MO is, when he can move around and make plays. He truly is amazing at doing that. I got to see it firsthand a couple times when he took Kansas back to the woodshed.
Like many other teams.
Like many other teams. But that Clemson defense is so athletic, and they're so good. And then on the flip side of it, the underrated factor, Hunter Renfrow, the future Patriots wide receiver, so much grit.
Yeah, Bill Belichick.
Wait, pause that. He's not playing Hunter Renfrow in that game. I was moving on already to the national championship.
You just
taking on Georgia, Jake Fromm.
You just get real excited.
I get
about
real
Hunter
excited
Renfrow.
talking about Baker because
Shout out to your girlfriend, Hunter.
Yeah.
Shout out to your girlfriend.
I get real excited about Baker and Hunter, but I mean, also
just the white boys in general.
Baker Mayfield, is he going to have the Heisman hangover?
I do think the Heisman's wrapped up for him.
Yeah,
Last Heisman to win the title?
Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It's almost like this is my job to know that.
I do not
Last
think
quarterback
I do
to
not-
win the Heisman and win the title.
Jason White.
Chris Winkie, 1998.
We'll go back with Cam Newton, 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Scam Newton jersey on that Bear Bryant statue.
But back to your question, I do not think Baker has the Heisman hangover. I think if Oklahoma loses a game, it is not because of Baker. I think Baker performs. I think Georgia, Kirby Smart's going to limit his opportunities to perform.
Yeah.
Kirby and his skateboard boy.
No, Kirby looks.
Top 10 worst haircuts in college football. Definitely top 10 worst haircuts in football.
Kirby looks like such a classic SEC dad that when the Georgia job opened up for Mark Wick, they're like, got our guy.
Yeah.
He's already got the oversized polo, the shitty hair.
His son is the quarterback of Alabama in like 2050.
Yeah, but then so I think Georgia's going to control the line of scrimmage. I think they're going to win out with that, knocking off the future Heisman winner. Also, side note, how big of a bullshit is it that Lamar Jackson's a Heisman finalist?
Why?
He sucked this year.
His stats are unbelievable.
No, I think he's terrible.
My question is,
they lost what, 5 games?
Can you tell me his stats, please?
But I mean, other than that, the national title we got to get to.
Right.
I'm having Clemson versus Georgia. I think Clemson's going to go repeat, win by about 10 points. I think Jake Fromm could get the yips against a defense like that on the big stage. Michael, what do you think? National title prediction?
I think it's going to be an SEC finale. I think it's Alabama, Georgia. Now, an SEC finale is definitely going to piss off so many
how
fans.
much will people hate that?
But I think it will prove that both these teams deserve to be in there, and I think it's going to be Bama over Georgia. I think the way Georgia plays, you're not going to beat Bama with that style. You're not beating Bama basically at their own game. So I have Bama winning it all this year.
There is zero chance that Jake Fromm beats Alabama.
So you have Georgia in the first game.
But here's the thing. I don't think they're going to be putting the ball in his hands, say, hey, you go win that game.
But they're not.
You think
but
Georgia's
they're
going to run on Alabama?
lining up in the eye, running
I
the
think
ball
they
like
would.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's no.
So, obviously,
Bama.
other than the college football playoff, and we'll get to the other bowl games. That's going to be a next topic
episode.
of conversation on the next episode. We're going to run through, get some gambling for you. A little wet the beak a little bit. So you can pay us out our commissions for when we win you all of that cash money, y'all. Coaching search, obviously the biggest topic at hand. Tennessee just an absolute, what the French call, shit show over there down in Knoxville. Michael, why don't you kick us off with the wildness that's going on in Knoxville?
Well, Tennessee, like you said, is a complete shit show right now. You know, they had Shiano lined up and all these preppy little faggot fucking Southern boys complain.
Don't talk about my people like that.
And, you know, you have this fucking pussy AD and the chancellor give in.
Get him out of here.
Give in.
Exactly what they did.
And say no. And then they go against it. And now they don't have a coach because no one wants to go there.
It was true.
So they're getting what they deserve 100%.
Yes.
I don't know why someone would want to get that job right now because the fan base has obviously shown that they're not backing you through anything.
Yeah.
You better perform. You're going to SEC championship or they're going to shit on you.
Yeah, I think Tennessee's...
If Tennessee's coming off a loss to literally every SEC school, that means there is not very much talent there at the moment. I mean, if you're coming into that job and can't get a bowl eligible team in there, which I don't
with
think,
the fan base who's
with a fan base who's not behind
yes.
you, that could be a hell job, and I don't think anybody's won that.
Now I think Butch Jones recruited all right. He just didn't get the pieces in play. Here's the
Charlie Weiss effect.
It's the Charlie Weiss thing where you can recruit some players, but you don't get them going on the field. The wildest thing is there was no even proof of him at Penn State. It was like they said there was another assistant coach that knew. There was no name on it. A guy literally painted it on a rock, and they're like, "Yep, we can't hire him."
It was one of those.
He may or may not have been in the showers with those boys, but
just wanted to give him a full college football experience.
Who wasn't at Penn State?
Yeah,
you know?
I was at those camps, man.
But I love. I think an aspect that goes. No one really talks about as much, and I love fucking Phil Fulmer just underlining everything,
that's
going against all these things, just so this AD of 8 fucking months gets fired. And then Phil Fulmer steps in. He's all of a sudden he has his own talk show again. He's fucking eating ribs at their best place. You know, his fat ass.
Have you ever seen a coach get fucking fired? And then, I'm going to be the AD
Let's just
of
hang
the
out
school.
in this city for a little bit.
Yeah,
see what
Knoxville,
happens.
Tennessee.
I can only imagine the cholesterol he went through after he got fired and just chilling in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Well, no, he probably he was probably loving life.
Just chilling.
And the team's just down the shitter. He's like, this is all falling into place.
100%.
Give me them baby backs.
It was all part of his master plan.
Master plan, playing puppet master. Then to go to the other side of the SEC West, some big shakeups. Kevin Sumlin out. I think we all saw that coming. But then Jimbo Fisher. I mean, you got to say one of the top football coaches in college football, without a doubt. Won a national championship at Florida State. Florida State, a better job than Texas A&M right now.
Definitely.
But then
more history.
Yeah.
You know, like you just said, won a national championship recently. Texas A&M, what have they done? Oh, they had Johnny fucking Football, which I love.
Which we are a pro Johnny Football podcast. Let's get that straight.
We want him to be back in the league.
Johnny, come on the pod to discuss the hiring of
anti Joe Schmidt, pro Johnny Football.
Yeah, that's 100%. Fuck Joe Schmidt, but like you said, Florida State's definitely a better job. But Texas A&M brought out the checkbook. They brought out 10 years guaranteed.
What Texas A&M has is the Texas Board of Regents.
Yeah.
They got big.
Oh, they have some good old boys down there.
And A&M and
boys.
Tennessee are both suffering from the delusion of what their program is.
Right.
Nah.
Yeah, and in Texas A&M even more, because Texas A&M had one good year where they almost lost to Duke in the Cotton Bowl.
They beat Bama.
Sorry. That was the year they killed Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl.
They beat Bama, and all of a sudden they think they're a top 5 program.
They beat Bama one time, and they got a
crazy.
Yeah, and they got a Heisman Trophy.
That was a crazy.
If it wasn't Johnny Football playing quarterback, that ball doesn't fall back in his hands after the ball. It would have been a buff fumble 2.0.
Yeah, A&M is suffering from being Texas's little brother.
Yes.
Moving to the SEC and thinking this is our chance to shine, and they're just not doing it.
They got a little taste of greatness, and
especially
then they
with Nick Saban in the SEC West. You're not doing it.
You guys, we are all forgetting about that. They had 3 probably just stud quarterbacks. They all just leave. They all vanished.
Yeah, Kenny Hill's
now we led the top
guy,
15
the guy from Arizona State.
Yeah, Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray and the other one. There was another guy.
Yeah.
There was, but so that was a big sign to me that Kevin Sumlin didn't have the locker room.
Yes, exactly.
Classic locker room.
I think someone was fired after the UCLA game.
Yeah, I mean, people were already getting pissed off with him, and I
The
think
previous
it was just a
year,
matter
and
of
they brought
time.
him back.
Yeah,
Quick side note, though. I saw a tweet. It was from a college player now. With Jimbo leaving Florida
Yes.
State, should he sit out a year? Just like players have to sit out a year.
Yeah,
I think if you're
No.
Don't get too
No.
quick into this, but just quick takes here.
quick takes, I think I'll go real quick. I think if your coach leaves, I think should be able to transfer.
Yes.
If it's a situation like Jimbo Fisher, where he didn't tell anyone, they still had a fucking game.
Yeah.
Where it was,
And he just got up.
it was more of a buyer's remorse. Contract
Yes.
wasn't
Yes,
up.
yes, but it was like, oh, we still have a game. Jimbo's like, shit, man, I'm gonna, Texas A&M's kind of pressuring me into take this job. I'm taking it. So if I'm a Florida State player and I'm like, well, shit, I had a great relationship with Jimbo. Like, who knows what's gonna happen with this new coach? Like, what if this new coach comes in and we have nothing in common?
I think
And-
unless his contract is literally up.
Yeah, and he doesn't
then,
come back.
Then
and they
that's
don't-
at your own
yeah.
risk.
But I think you
There's
should
got to
be
be
able to-
trouble going on with the
but
administration.
I think you should be able to transfer and not have to sit out if your coach leaves.
I personally don't think a player should have to sit out at all when he transfers. I mean, what these guys go through, I mean, that's a whole other topic we
Yeah,
can
I
get
would
into. I don't think you should have to sit out when you transfer. I think if you would transfer twice, that's when you need to sit out.
Yeah.
And especially
I like
when
that.
when a coach leaves,
It should be a lot.
yeah, because let's
That
be
gives
honest.
you another
And
one
here, and
on
yeah,
top of
here-
your
yeah,
one
and
that
here's the problem that the NCAA runs into is we're. These guys are here to play football, so when their coach leaves, you gotta respect that. And then I think the other big coaching move going on right now to go off Jimbo, Florida State fills the seat with Lily Taggart from Oregon. Guys, thoughts on that?
That one, I think we all can agree that Oregon's
Not the
football
program.
program's going on the
Yeah,
toilet.
they
Like,
fucking
my
blow.
last turd that I made.
Yeah.
I don't really think they're there as a not only from a recruiting standpoint. The jerseys aren't as cool.
Yeah, they've
anymore.
lost their buzz.
Everybody has dope jerseys now. That's not a mystique that they only have now.
Well, it
And-
used to be the whole cool Phil Knight effect, and now it's
Yeah.
like Phil Knight's giving everybody these cool.
Yeah.
Because Phil Knight understood,
It
like,
used to
yeah,
be,
Oregon's cool.
It used to be an Oregon exclusive. Now it's not.
but it's
Now
like
who wants to
Oregon's
go
cool,
there?
but it's like, okay, I can sell a lot
Oregon's
more.
got a hell of a quarterback too.
But it's like, I can
From-
sell a
they
lot
had
more.
from Eastern for
I
a
can sell a
year.
lot more jerseys at Texas because these Texas fans are nuts. If I am, have cool.
Well, yeah, and I think it's
Like,
also
It's not enough for him. To
it
be a
shows you the
billionaire.
level that Chip Kelly got the program to, because then Mark Helfert comes in, goes to the national championship.
I think, yeah.
Mariota wins the Heisman running the same system, but also Scott Frost, offensive coordinator of that system, left to go
I
become
think
the
that's a huge thing that
UCF.
people forget. But
Yeah.
back to what you were
Is
saying.
was this Kelly's? Is this Chip? Speaking on Chip Kelly, quick. Is this Chip Kelly's first year out of Philadelphia or no?
This is like
He had a
his
year in
second.
between.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But back to what you're saying, I think what we aren't really talking about too, though, is how crazy is it though that 10 years ago you might take the Oregon job over the Florida State job. 10 years ago.
Yeah, no,
10 years ago,
100%.
that's 07.
So 2007, absolutely.
That's when Chip Kelly was right there. It was all,
I would say 8 years ago, 1,000%.
yeah. So what I'm saying though is you have Jimbo Fisher leaving Florida State to go to A&M,
yeah.
and then you have a guy leaving.
I still think that's crazy. Like,
I agree, but
yeah.
I'm saying, and you have a guy leaving Oregon who's like, we don't think it's a program it is at, but it's also still a big program now. Going to Florida State, it's like we have two guys leaving good programs / they're definitely getting paid, going to other schools. I think it's kind of crazy how these guys are just moving left and right,
Yes.
and it's just like, but Taggart is a Florida guy. I think he.
Yeah, that's a
I-
huge key in that.
yeah,
I think
I-
that's a massive
someone-
key.
Willie
someone-
Taggart's going to
someone
appeal
tweet-
to a
someone-
certain type of recruit.
Someone tweeted today, and he was like, "Taggart's a Florida guy. How are you saying no to a Florida State team that the quarterback doesn't get hurt?
They're
Could have
clearly
been a
they're
top 10
the
team
best
this
team.
year."
They're not gonna
They're
miss a
the best
beat.
Florida team.
That's
in the
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
they're
it's
not
like-
going to miss a beat.
So he understands the Florida aspect of it. He understands the Florida recruiting. He understands, we stay in Florida,
And
we
I say
recruit
that.
this, all that. He understands that aspect where it's almost like you can't say no to that.
And
yeah.
I realized I just said that they're the best team in Florida after what Miami did this year, but I still stand by that. I think Miami's one of the biggest frauds in college football.
I think Central Florida is better than people think too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
agree.
I
And not to mention
want to
not to
see a
mention-
group of 5 team in the playoff.
Not to
Agreed.
mention the FIU and the FAUs, 2-time win teams.
FAU.
Joey Freshwater.
FAU, man.
Speaking of coaching searches,
Would
friend of the program, Lane Kiffin out there, hot name.
is he leaving? No.
I don't think this
He loves too many clubs in Boca Raton to leave there. Are you kidding me?
I can't.
He's cheating on his wife every Friday night.
They're divorced. They're divorced now.
Okay, so now it's okay for him to
free play.
He's got a girlfriend.
Free play.
He's got a
He's
girlfriend.
flacking.
He, I cannot confirm nor deny, but sources can say that Lane Kiffin doesn't enjoy the South Florida lifestyle. I personally think Lane Kiffin would be a perfect fit for the Arkansas job. I think
that's never seen open.
I think conference-wise, it'd be tough. Being in the SEC West,
I don't think he would take an Arkansas job.
I don't either.
Realistically,
I think
it'd just be too much of a building process.
I think he almost wants to go to an ACC kind of job.
He loves the
He
SEC,
does love the SEC,
but I also think Oregon, a school like Oregon
school.
could be a good for.
But I think
he already had his time out in the Pac-12.
He would love nothing more though.
To come in and beat the shit out of Nick Saban, which I don't think would happen.
Which probably
but
wouldn't.
He'd love it.
And
they can just go
and
back
he
to
also
McFadden.
and they're good friends. Like he loves Nick Saban. Maybe
hot take of the year.
Likes.
Oh man, have you seen his Twitter recently?
Yeah, have you seen him talk about it? Also, after that, he's like Nick Saban doesn't even have a Twitter, so when I make fun of him, it's not like he can see it.
Yeah.
But he knows.
He has an intern who's literally
he's omnipotent. He knows all.
Omnipresent.
He's omnipresent. He's omnipotent. He's all powerful. He is
Nick.
God.
Nick. Get the
See,
the drop.
Saban's too much of a football guy where he
won't even give a shit.
He doesn't know what's going on because all he's focused on. Like if his intern if his intern walked in and said, "Hey,
Sir,
Nick, Lane just tweeted about you," and he said, "What the fuck did you say?
What's a Snapchat?
Does this have anything to do with Clemson? No, you're fired."
That's like Nick
book.
Saban and Bill Belichick are the same guy. Where Belichick first said, he goes, "Oh yeah, what's Snap Face?" Like he 100% knows what it is, but it's now a thing where it's like all I think about is football.
100% Nick Saban's a college Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick is a pro Nick Saban. Like
they're evil twins.
Yeah. They're definitely related.
They're cut from the same.
They're
cloth.
related somehow.
Both probably.
Their moms like
they
the same guy.
How does Bama, who could get anybody they want, and how does the Patriots, who could get anybody they want, always have these slow, great white receivers? You have these guys.
I feel like I haven't seen a white receiver on Alabama in like 30 years.
Garrett Dieter last year.
Oh, fuck that guy. Not a friend of the program.
2 years ago, that transfer from Colorado State.
Okay, yeah, he could play.
They've had the past 5 years. They've had.
Wait, are you talking? Okay,
these white receivers, and it's like the New England Patriot effect.
But yeah, whichever coach takes the Arkansas job, going to be a tough look with Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher now in the SEC West.
Is that in the West? Yeah.
But Brett Bielema definitely cashing out 11-point-something million he's getting from his buyout.
Hot wife.
Very hot wife. Don't know how he can see his dick, but
well, you know what? Sometimes you don't need to.
Sometimes you don't.
As long as she has a mouth, it's all right.
I think that's and other than that, Scott Frost going to Nebraska. Cue the coming home music. I'm coming home.
Bad decision on his part, I think.
Oh, how?
I think he brings Nebraska back to relevance.
I was going to say,
I really do.
to tie it back into Wisconsin not getting
the
in.
Dude took an
0-12 team. Yeah, you have
would Frost have been in contention for the Florida State job? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you
then
look at
I rest my case.
Look at Nebraska because you have. He's an
Are you saying
alumni.
on other teams that he could have went to? It's a bad decision on his part.
Yeah.
I agree, but he played at Nebraska.
He played at Nebraska, and he's coming home.
But it's one of those things where
Just close the yearbook, hang up the spikes, man.
He's not thinking about Florida State. He's looking at, I have an easy Big Ten West where the toughest team is Wisconsin.
Is he afraid to be great? Is that what it is?
Oh, fuck off.
Afraid to be great.
Oh, my God. No, he's gonna step into Nebraska. He's going to make them a winner.
About Nebraska,
he's gonna make that bread rise.
He's going to get Nebraska back on steroids.
If he goes 8-4, 9-3 his first year,
he'll build it up.
Nebraska's supporting him. Like Nebraska,
he'll go into Chicago.
They've been so bad lately.
They gotta beat that Hornibrook guy.
Yeah, okay.
Fuck.
He probably
But
like
we
a
forget that
7-year senior.
Nebraska is a huge football school.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing.
And
They
if
fired Bo Pelini,
Since
who
when?
won 9 or 10 games every year.
It's been a while, so we forget.
But they're still crazy about
they have
that.
crazy
out there.
alumni who will pay out the ass and
Yeah.
stuff if they start to get good again. And Scott Frost, I mean,
I mean, that's the perfect hire for
If
that.
you start-
I mean, that's
they're
what
not.
that's what
Nebraska's
dreams are.
getting, Nebraska will never get anything better.
Yeah,
Bring
And
back
that's
Eric
what
Crouch.
dreams are made of. Yeah, Eric Crouch.
Eric
gonna go
Crouch
play
definitely
quarterback.
needs to be the quarterback coach at Nebraska.
Oh man, I'll be there in about 30 seconds.
Tour.
Oh
there,
yeah,
definitely.
Hey,
Yeah.
Nebraska.
Yeah.
Nebraska. Send us
Send us some fucking tickets.
slide in the DMs. Our Venmo and DMs are open. Moving on from the coaching search. Only football game going on this week. We got Army Navy. Very traditional game. Let's be honest, Andrew. I think you said it best. What do you think about this game?
I try to be nice about it, but
This game sucks.
this game fucking sucks.
sucks.
Man.
See, I disagree.
I
I,
mean,
disagree.
The best
what I'm
part
gonna
of
be
the
doing
game
is-
is them lining up at the beginning, and then you get a
No,
flyover.
the best part we will see is President Donald Trump walking out and saying this is the best game of the year.
Yeah,
and I will laugh.
You know,
at that.
the Army Navy
The other-
game will be good when
Because
there's
it'll
a
be
draft.
like one of his 13,000 lies he's had this week. But
If-
yeah.
Listen, I'd rather go watch Keeping Up with the fucking Kardashians
Oh,
than this
wow.
football. Okay, I
See,
kid.
I disagree. Navy, Army, it's like, you know what? Let's flash back 30 years
great,
ago.
great,
just
great,
bad-
more like
great
60
game.
years.
It's
great
just bad
game.
football.
Great uniforms.
It's bad football. all
Wonderful
around.
Awesome uniforms.
No, these unis do come out to play today.
Yeah, these unis.
The
these unis are
flyover,
slick.
the flyover, you don't
flyover's
get a better
fantastic.
flyover.
And let's be honest, the game's worth tuning in for the last 2 minutes. When
It's always a one-possession game.
Yeah, you see the tears in the eyes. You know, it's probably a close finish because neither of them throw the ball. And then at the end of the game, when they all line up, they sing "Anchors Away." They sing the
They
the
cock
whatever
back their AK-47s
whatever
and
army
go to
whatever
war.
army
But-
song is, and they're standing there arm in arm swaying away.
But if
That's a
you
touchy moment.
complain about how long football games last, you won't in this game.
Oh, this game's
this
gonna
game
be
will
2
last
hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
You're done. You're in. You're out.
Army only has 63 passing attempts on the season.
I don't know too many people who complain about a football game going on too long, but
Everyone complains about the commercials and everything. So
not on this podcast. They don't.
But yeah, I mean, Army Navy, great tradition, obviously awesome. A little bit down on the theatrics in terms of gameplay, but nonetheless a great American tradition. So I think that does it for our first inaugural podcast. Before that, predictions, Army Navy game. I'm a Navy guy traditionally. Other when they play Notre Dame.
Navy is -3, by the way.
Oh, -3. I'm definitely going to take Navy. Refs, don't throw the flag. They're not in the service yet. I'm going Navy. Andrew, who do you got first?
You taking the spread too?
Taking the spread and
this
taking
is
Navy.
Easy call here. You're taking Army money line.
Ooh.
Plus 129.
Plus 129.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. Ooh.
Slap a Ulysses on it.
So
too.
we
Slap
have.
Ulysses on it.
I honestly, I was thinking Navy for a while, but Navy's 6-5. You got Army at 8-3. Navy won 14 in a row before Army's win last year. So Army's definitely, for the first time, kind of coming back to not being a shit show of a team.
Yes.
And I think right now I would take Army money line too. Would you take the over under at 46?
You take the under in this game all
You
fucking
take
day.
the under, put the mortgage on it,
Yeah.
and go buy another fucking.
So I'm saying under 46, put 250
For this
fucking
under,
bucks.
I would have put the under at 30.
Yeah.
I may take that under in the money line, just see what happens.
That under. Oh, now that I think about it, 23 points each. It's almost like they know what they're doing for a living.
$20
I think,
each, 15 parlay.
I think we might get a bet in here, and we'll get some video reactions going for you. Now, moving on to final thoughts. Andrew, want to get us kicked off here?
Yeah, quick final thoughts here. We got committee definitely got the 4 teams right. Tennessee just shit the bed there with their whole finding a new coach thing, and the Army Navy game will continually suck each and every year.
I think committee, I'm glad they did the right thing. Didn't put Ohio State in the playoffs like they could have. Put Bama in there. Army Navy, take the fucking under, put the mortgage on it, and go Crimson Tide.
Final thoughts for me. Baker for Heisman. Don't shake the man's hand. Really hope Nick Saban just doesn't murder everybody in his path this playoff season. for Bama to get another title. But other than that, this was the first episode of the Victory Lap podcast, episode number 1. Hop on board. We're going to be famous. We'll see. Other than that, signing off.